We interrupt your weekend for breaking news. This just in. The Saturday Spin podcast is live. 3 friends, 3 perspectives, 1 mission to spin the week's headlines their way. Politics, pop culture, and the stories everyone's talking about. But no one's saying quite like this. This is the Saturday Spin podcast, breaking down the news before Monday can twist it back.
Hello, my friend.
Welcome back.
Have you noticed in the news lately, they're starting to talk more about this SNAP situation?
No, ever since we brought it up the week ago.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's evolving now. So go check out that video, see how from where we came at it when we first found out about it to how it's being morphed right now. Depending on where you're looking, there's a huge focus on these Democratic states that are not sending the information because something about privacy. But we don't want to touch too much on that right now because we don't have a lot of context, which is something specifically Patrick has sent me a couple of great things this past week. And today really focused on a paragraph that had mentioned context, a couple paragraphs. And we decided, yeah, let's talk about context because it feels like we're 37, we're 35 to 45, right? And that's our age bracket right now, 35 to 45. So there's people listening, younger, older. We're going to be talking a lot about context now and showing you specifically paths and patterns on why humans have stopped with context and why we should go back to it. So let's have a couple of foundational examples here, Patrick. You were reading off some really glorious things pre-show while we were building this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's obvious. Everybody today, you go through Facebook, you go through TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be. The headlines are always the trigger for you. Whether that be clickbait, whatever you want to call it. Typically, what do we do, Charles? We go and we search something we want to find or something just pops up. Here's a prime example. Did I get back to it here? I scrolled way past it.
That's all right.
Just say you're spotting through, you see the headlines. All right, the headline is Man Arrested After Dog Incident. Charles, what do you feel? What do you get from that? Man arrested after dog incident.
Immediately, I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on that to see
You're thinking dog abuse.
What this son of a bitch did to that dog.
Yeah.
Now, that is the point of what they were trying to do. They were trying to get my attention. Continue.
Right.
Now, if I didn't read this context and I just sent it forward, this asshole needs to burn in hell.
Right.
Now,
and you don't even read the first comment.
I don't even read the first comment.
You just read the next line. The next line.
Let's pretend I gave it 2 minutes, which is less time than a commercial break nowadays. 2 minutes. All right, let's click into the article. What is it really?
Man rescues dog from someone who is trying to attack it. Context flips, villain becomes the hero instantaneously. And it took what? 2 seconds.
2 seconds. So, as we carry on in the show, we're going to give more examples of that. We're going to be touching on how context matters, and we're going to discuss some reasons why us humans have stopped searching for it when a headline fits our narrative. A couple more reasons on why we feel context matters. Not necessarily feel. This is more or less some common sense stuff. Nuance reveals complexity. All right. And now there's this new headline you're about to be hearing about. A recent wave of Congress GOP members are retiring. Yeah. But did you know that there are also 17 Democrats who are retiring this year?
Interesting.
So we're going to be carrying forward into that. A retirement wave in Congress could mean dysfunction, generational change, or strategic repositioning. Without context, a headline like GOP in chaos oversimplifies, GOP being GOP. Headlines are snapshots. They capture urgency, but rarely the underlying cause. Now, this is not the headline's fault. Headlines have always been this way.
Oh yeah.
A headline is meant to grab your attention. If my headline tells you everything that is in my story, whether AI wrote it or I effing wrote it, right? Because we'll be getting into that later too. The only way I'm going to get you to read it is if there's something worthy of the headline. Now, if the headline is completely bogus, we'll probably talk about that too, because that's just rude. So context builds trust. Readers who dig deeper can distinguish between partisan framing and structural realities. If your headline was good enough to make me click on it, and then I read it and it's just dumb, I'm I'm not going to waste lifetime ever clicking on your article again. So that's the risk you play. You could have a killer headline and a terrible, right, but some reason we're phasing away from that. I don't like that. Cognitive shortcuts, maybe.
Yeah.
Our brains crave efficiency. If a headline fits our narrative, we feel we've already solved the story. So when you and I are discussing something and it's like, bro, there's aliens in Brazil.
Yeah.
And I'm serious, right? And I just Google aliens in Brazil, and there's all those headlines about, but you read into it and it's like, oh yeah, this was a hoax. That was something. But every one of them headlines is telling you aliens in Brazil. So that's kind of an example with that one. Did you have another example for us?
Well, I mean, just rage bait. Some people's brains just crave negativity too, and I think that's part of it, and that's part of the
Yeah.
society that we live in. People sit in front of their phones 24 hours a day for some people. I mean,
Well
it's
done.
mush, you
Yeah.
know?
Confirmation bias.
Yeah,
People naturally seek information that validates their beliefs.
their points, yeah.
It's
They like to be
annoying.
right.
Yeah, they don't like to be annoyed.
No.
Information overload with constant news alerts, digging deeper feels exhausting.
So they just go with they're just okay with the first thing that comes along, they accept it.
It just
That's
becomes a
truth.
coping mechanism. Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
just seen it. We did an example recently off the top of my head, and it may be a little biased depending on which side you're on,
yeah,
but the Democrats with this kill them all order. Well, not even just the Democrats, because there were some Republicans. So we'll say just the recent political outroar, and forgive me for that.
yeah.
The recent political outroar on this no kill order threw up this whole investigation, all to find out that there was no order like that given. I mean, now there was multiple news places that had disputed it within 20 to 40 hours, somewhere around there.
Wasn't it an assumption that there was an order given because there was
It
an
was
act
it was
yeah.
an assumption right off the bat. So it's hard to then have conversations with people who have carried that weight as a reality, because like I now know that's just, I mean, are we
Partially.
getting tricked?
Well,
And
somebody's
then
getting hornswoggled for sure.
because many times on both sides, something like this happens, and then once it's found out to be farce, everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, I kind of figured it was, but there was a chance." And then they move on to the next issue. How can anybody believe you anymore after that? That's always weird to me. Like you're just willing to go out on a limb, whether you know it's true or not, based on the chance that if it's true, it would be so awesome for you. Like,
Let's just be honest. What company has been doing this for like the last 25 years, not even way longer than that? You
yeah.
find them at every gas station, every damn grocery store. It's sitting right alongside of the checkout. They've been doing it forever.
Man, my camera sucks. So tribal identity.
You
Sharing a
got
headline that proves your side, right, signals belonging. Context can complicate that signal. Context doesn't help when you're trying to scream headlines. It's frustrating, but getting news from social media is faster. But the context still needs time to come out. when something on social media is happening right now, you can't give it the 2 minutes to find out why that happened.
Well,
You're
you want it
learning
now.
in real time. Down in Milwaukee with that shooting, and everyone was like, "Blah, blah, blah," and then the body cam, because arguments, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But then the body cam came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, we were wrong. Alright. Well, the snow's coming in soon," and it's like, "Whoa, wait a minute," like, cities were almost rotting again, more or less,
Yeah.
because you thought there could be a chance, and there needs to be more than just, "Oh, well, go get a lawyer and sue them and take taxpayer money," or something like that. Like, nah, there needs to be some real life consequences for these random acts of stupidity, be it an AI or a company in a
Well,
different country. Like, I mean, it can't be that hard to just
how many times have you seen people's days be completely ruined because they misinterpreted just a text message? World War III's coming because you didn't read this text message correctly because somebody didn't put context in it, you know?
right. Oh, and that really boils my bubbles as well, bro.
Yeah.
Really boils my bubbles because, like, you read how you talk. I've never met anyone in my life, like,
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't read how you think, Patrick, right? Like, you
Right?
don't read how I think.
Wait a minute,
Uh,
Charles,
right?
you're not thinking what I'm thinking? Come
So
on.
and there are sometimes, right, when the text message is like,
Oh, no,
"Bro,
good
an
one.
other piece of," right? You don't have to go, "Hey, I'm gonna need a little context. It seems like you're angry." Obviously, that person is angry, right?
Well,
But
here's
when
one,
you're reading
Charles.
something.
Here's one, like, you and Rachel, when you first started, dating
Yeah,
back in the day,
yeah.
if you got a text message from her that said, "We need to talk." Now, what are you thinking in your head? You're like, "Oh, this could be bad. This could be real bad." And
Yeah,
you
because
thinking to yourself,
I know
yeah,
about a medical condition that my nutsack has.
right.
So,
You're
I
like,
know it's
"Man,
only bad. I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh,
what's going
shit."
over?" But, like, even,
Yeah,
even if your boss was
yeah,
to say that, you'd be like, "Oh, shit, I'm
yeah,
getting fired. My life's over. I'm breaking up. What's going on? Am I having another kid?" The
yeah,
context, the tone, the timing, the intention,
every
all of it
yeah,
goes through your head, different things.
yeah. So
Abs
why not in those moments ask for the context you've created in your mind to see if you're right? Why? Because most of the time it's terrible, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
most it's just like we were just discussing, it's so many amazingly horrible things, and it's like, "Well, hold on a second. I'm gonna need a little context." And then if they're like, "Rah," well, that's a whole different story. You should probably go see a therapist. But anybody who says that, there should be context after that. And requesting it is all the rage. It's like, because I got the old PTSD terribly, blah, 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 blah. But there are moments now where I have to remind myself that no matter how bad it is, it'll be better tomorrow. Or like I'm not as angry as I think I am because I would rather think about what could be than know what is.
Right,
And that's a very slippery slope for me sometimes. So I have to remember that. And the consequences of ignoring context, just as we were talking about, polarization headlines become weapons rather than windows. When did we start using headlines as weapons rather than windows? That seems pretty fascist if we're going to use the word and just throw it out there like a beach volleyball at a sports event. That seems pretty cut and dry.
right?
Like,
Scary.
headlines are supposed to be windows, they're
Yeah,
not supposed to be weapons. What's inside that window is what allows you to build your foundation of whatever you want. And we definitely need to get back to that because you have loss of empathy. Without context, we miss the human factors, burnout, compromises, or sacrifice that drive decisions.
yeah,
So, some things that then popped up, right? Ask why now. Headlines tell you what happened. Context explains why, right? You should be asking the why. When you read a headline, when we read a headline, specifically, and this took me a few years to gather, but when you read a headline, it shouldn't be, oh, it should be, well, why? Dig into this. Because here we go. I asked, let's side by side some comparison from both sides of this recent GOP retirement wave. All right. Headlines about the GOP retirements look very different depending on the outlet. Advocacy driven or
Every
partisan
day.
sites frame them as chaos or exodus, while foundational eh, outlets like AP, Bloomberg, The Hill, your Fox, your CBS, your ABC, and whatnot will emphasize historical precedents and electoral math. Here are some examples. And now, again, this is just, we talk about both sides here. So, like from LGBTQ Nation, flood of retirement announces expected soon from frustrated GOP House members. This framing style is Exodus framing. It emphasizes dysfunction, frustration, and inevitability of a democratic takeover. Now, when we click into the article, and again, if you wanted to, you just go to LGBTQ Nation and read it for yourself. It is very, they're just, the name tells you what you're going to read. And it's not that it's a terrible read, it's just, it's very one-sided. And you kind of figure that from the headline, as you do, as we all do, from like, oh, I got this information from Fox News. Like, you tell that to some people and they immediately shut down.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "Oh, yeah, well, no, that's definitely a lie." Even if it's the truth, it's a lie. And why is that? Well, Fox News lies more than it tells the truth, just like all the other news medias.
Yeah.
So they're just headline driven entertainment. It's for us to acquire our own opinionated context through gathering opinions from multiple sides. You can't just read into something and go, "Hell yeah." Right? Because then you're just like, "Oh, well, you never really come out and go, 'I was wrong.'" Now, you and I in these positions, we definitely have to.
Right.
Bloomberg, House retirements are raising a warning for Republicans. It's an analytical frame. The Associated Press, US News, tracking the retirement announcements of members of Congress. That's a neutral framing. That right there. Why? Because I'm like, "Holy spit." Well, thank you, AP. Thank you, US News. The Hill. GOP House lawmakers' retirement complicating midterm path to retaining majority. Strategic framing. Digital Chew. I just liked the name. Being honest. Greeny retirement shocks House Republicans. Drama framing. I asked the question, what is the average age of those retiring from the House? What do you think it is? Right?
The
Because
age? I'm
reading all of those headlines, like, I'm thinking all these new
uh,
people that came in, like me personally. Oh, I want you to go first. I'm sorry.
well, it's making you think that they're gonna be older than what they are. I'm gonna say by reading the headline, I'm gonna say the average is 67.
Oh, that's a pretty darn good guess. And for the Democrats, you are correct. The average age, which there's about 17 so far, is closer to mid 60s,
Yeah.
reflecting a more long tenured baby boomer member stepping down. This is what we've all been asking for.
Yeah.
And now that it's happening, we're getting these fear-driven headlines. Now, the average age for the House members, when I was reading those headlines, and especially with Majory there,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, spit." I mean, you gotta be, I'm thinking it's closer to 40. I'm thinking it's closer to 40 because maybe we've got to have a couple oldies, but some of these young guns that went in there thinking that they could change the wild, wild west in a day decided that I can't do this as fast as I thought I could. And I need to get out with my goods now, and I need to go buy a used car dealership or something. We'll talk about that in another episode. But the average age of the is 50 to 60s, mid 50s to 60s. So
Interesting.
young or old, it's not the new wave. I don't want to say new wave, but it's not the age wave we were expecting. I do apologize for having wave on the mind. We were just discussing about 20 minutes ago the 7.6 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Japan. Many prayers out and about for that. Everybody's on wave watch. So the median age in the House overall, 57 and a half years old. So it's 60-year-old people retiring from Congress. What are things that people in our age bracket and younger have been saying about the mindsets of these people? We got to get these old people out of Congress because their mindsets do not fit the narrative of today's present. And now that that's happening, we're going to be freaking out about it. What the hell are you talking about? Let's see who we get to vote for now. This is exciting because these career politicians are leaving. It doesn't matter what side they're on. We're getting both. Many are Gen X members frustrated with gridlock rather than aging out. Average age of retiring Democrats is mid 60s, and their exits are more often tied to long careers winding down. Congress overall 58.9 years, making the 119th Congress the third oldest in U.S. history.
Wow.
It's those things that bum me out more than they cheer me up. Because for months, everybody's talking about we need to get the old ways thinking out. And now they're starting to leave and everyone's in pure chaos because why color or that color? I mean, and for also context on both sides, most of the Republican seats that are going to be up for grabs are in deep red territory.
Yeah,
So
pretty much. I mean,
they're
that's kinda
pretty
how it
red.
goes. They usually wouldn't
Yeah,
retire unless
yeah,
it was a seat they knew they weren't going to give up easily. They don't have to fight for it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, and I haven't looked
Mm,
into it yet, and I do
that's
apologize, but
politics
I'm
101.
assuming the Democratic seats are going to be the same because you have career politicians who have been voted in more or less just because they're blue, not because of the option.
Right.
So we should see that continue as well. Next week, we're going to look into some of the restructuring of the congressional maps, yada, yada, yada. Because we've been hearing a lot about this, but we're hearing most of it from one side or the other. So it's pretty much just people stomping their feet, going, why? Well, we're doing it here because you're doing it there, and you're doing it there because we're doing it here. So we're going to try and dig into it a little bit and dig into the history of it, to be honest with you. How many times does this happen? Can it happen again? Is it going to happen again? Are we sitting here upset about something today that isn't going to be a thing sometime tomorrow? So well done on the Giving Tuesdays and all that baloney-ness. Really appreciate everyone who went out there, and I did hear about the issue. Pizza must be here. Can you hear my dogs going crazy?
Yeah. Woof, woof.
Can you?
Yeah. Woof, woof.
Oh man. All right, hold on a second. Anywho, the giving is the most important. And what you can do today, if you're worried about tomorrow, is hit up your local food pantries. Hit up some local nonprofits. You don't got to give them $1,000. You don't got to give them $100. If you give them 5, 10, 15, whatever you can do to start making yourself feel like you make a difference. We tell you at the end of the show all the time, the world is a better place with you in it because you have the ability to make that change. You have the ability to make that difference. Patrick, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, you nailed it. Love it.
I think we nailed it. I love these. They're starting to come together, man. I'm really liking these episodes. Stay curious, stay grounded. Please fill yourself with context. Think of it like Thanksgiving, right? Where you always eat too much, but you never take enough home. We need to stop that. We need to eat too much and take enough home. Context the spit out of ourselves. And this world is a much better place with you in it.